Good morning, students. Today, read class 10 science chapter 30. The topic is magnetic effects of electric current. In our previous classes, we have already discussed about right hand thumb rule, Fleming's left hand rule, then about the solenoid, how the magnetic field produced by solenoid, then how the current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet and forms its magnetic field. About the magnetic field formed by a bar magnet, all those things we have already discussed here. First, we know about the magnetism in medicines. After that, we'll discuss about the electric motor. How it is used in medicine, or how magnetism effect it is seen in medicine. An electric current always produces a magnetic field. All of you know when electric current passes through any electrical conducting wire, then an electric field is produced. Even weak ions current that travel along a nerve cells in our body produce magnetic fields. In our body there are present thousands of nerve cells, and when the weak ions current which travels through these nerve cells, then also magnetic field produced. When we touch something, our nerves carry an electric impulse to the muscles we need to use. This impulse produces a temporary magnetic field. These fields are very weak and are about 1 billionth of Earth's magnetic field. Two main organs in the human body where the magnetic field produced is significant. These are the heart and the brain. Heart and brain are only two organs where we can feel the magnetic field. On which two main organs magnetic field produced. This is done using a technique that is called MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. Analysis of this image helps in medical diagnosis. The magnetism has thus got important uses in medicines to detect different disorders or different diseases which happen in the body organ. Next, come to the electric motor. What is electric motor? It is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. That device is said to be motor. And we have seen many appliances in which the electric motors are used. In our day-to-day life, we come across different appliances, different toys where electric motors are used. An electric motor is a rotating device that converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. This electric motor is used as an important components in electric fans, refrigerators, mixers, washing machines, computers, MP3 players, different toy cars, etc. We have to discuss about how the electric motor works, how it is constructed, what are the different parts of this electric motor, the principles electric motor, and how it works. We have to discuss here. First, we will draw the diagram for electric motor. These are the poles of a Hertz magnet named as North Pole and South Pole. In between these two poles, we have to place an insulated copper wire in the form of a rectangle that is called as armature. Here, A, B, C, D is armature. The armature is made by wrapping insulated copper wire in the form of rectangle, and this armature is placed vertically in between the poles which are facing to each other of a Hertz magnet. And both the ends of the coil, that armature, both are attached with two split rings. These are the split rings with the help of brushes. The split rings are P and Q, and brushes, that is X and Y. Here, the split rings are made up of copper metal. Split rings. Two types of rings are there. One is split ring, another is slip rings. Split rings and slip rings. Slip rings, which are the complete rings, complete circular ring, and split rings, that is the half of this split ring. When one slip ring is cut into two halves, then each of the half is said to be split rings. Such type of split rings are used here, and the rings are made up of copper metal. Here, the inner part of the split rings is insulated by any insulated materials, but the outer part is conducting. The outer part can conduct electricity, but the inner part is insulated, since this inner part of the split rings is attached with an axle that is called shaft. That is the axle, that is also called shaft. And when the axle is attached, if the inner part of split ring is not insulated, the electric current can conduct through this axle, and the parts which will be attached, like the blades of fan or the blades of mixture, which will be attached with this axle, can conduct electricity, and we can get the electrical shock when we touch it. That's why the inner part is insulated. Next, come to this brushes. X and Y, these are the brushes attached with this split rings and the ending of the armature. The brushes are made up of carbon. These are the brushes made of carbon, and the function of brush is only to fix the joining of ring and that of the end of armature. Here the electric motor that consists of a rectangular coil ABCD of insulated copper wire. The coil is placed between two poles of magnetic field such that the arm AB is placed perpendicular to this north and south pole, and similarly this side or the arm CD also placed perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. Now the ends of coil are connected to two half P and Q of split rings. Both the end A and end T both are connected with two split rings named P and Q here. The inner side of these halves are insulated and attached to the axle. The external conducting edges of P and Q. The inner side is attached to the axle and external part, the outer part of these rings are attached with two stationary brushes that is named as X and Y. Now the outer side of these brushes both are connected with a source of electricity following with a switch plug in. When we put on the switch, the electric current can pass in this direction from the positive terminal and moves through the circuit when it comes to the negative terminal. So first, when electric current passes, then in the armature, current will flow from A to B and from C to D. Current in the coil ABCD enters from the source battery through conducting brush. First, it will come to X. Next, come to the split ring P. After passing to the P, it comes to the end A, then point B, point C, point D. You'll notice that the current in the arc AB of the coil flow from A to B, that is opposite to that of the current that is from C to D. It is from down to top, but here it is top to bottom. The current of arm AB of the coil flow from A to B, in arm CD it will flow from C to D, that is opposite direction to each other. And applying Fleming's left hand rule, that is when we trace our left hand, the first finger, middle finger and the thumb. Then this first finger shows the direction of magnetic field, the middle finger shows the direction of electric current, and force this thumb shows the direction of force, direction of motion. So according to this Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field will find the force acting on the arm AB, which pushes in downward direction, whereas in the arm CD it pushes in upward direction. Here, this magnetic field has the direction from north to south, on which the magnetic field lines move from north to south direction. So, on applying the current here, both are the poles and it is placed the armature in this direction. The armature is in this direction. It is the north and south. The magnetic field and armature is placed in this direction. So here the magnetic field direction, it is the direction of current. So this one shows the direction of force. It is acting on the armature. So this side AB will be pushed downward. That's why in the arm AB, the force will act in downward direction, but when it comes to the arm CD, when it is moved from C to D, it is just opposite to the first case. That's why the CD will push in upward direction. Thus the coil ABCD will start to rotate. Here AB will come in downward direction and CD will come in upward direction. But what happens when this AB and CD start to rotate? The coil and the axle mounted free to turn about the axis here, and the coil will start to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. At half rotation, Q makes contact with brush X and P with brush Y. When this brush rotates half of it, then this ring P comes to the brush Y and ring Q comes to the brush X. But what will happen? This rotation, this half rotation, it is the position when it is going to start to rotate, but when it starts to rotate and the side AB come to downside and CD come to upside. It is X, Y, P, Q. X, Y, the first case when the rings are attached to the process, but when it starts to rotate, then the rings and brushes are not in contact. When electric current is flowing from the source of battery, then comes to brush and then to ring, and after coming to ring, it starts to move through the armature. But when it rotates, a stage will come when electric current will come to this brush, but it is cut off the circuit. From this brush, we will not come to the ring. When electric current will not come to the ring, then electric current cannot flow through this armature. That's why force cannot be applied on this armature. According to Fleming's left-hand rule, the force will be exerted on the armature when electric current flows through this armature ABCD. But when it is cut off the electric current due to the disconnect of brush and ring, then force will not exert on the arms of armature. But due to the motion present in this armature, that is the momentum of the armature again start to rotate and complete its half rotation. After this half rotation, the polarity of this armature will change. The rings will be interchanged there. This P comes towards the brush Y and Q comes towards the brush X. In this case, the electric current will flow from this brush to the ring Q, and this C comes here and D comes here. A will be here and B will be here. In second half rotation, the current will start from D to C and B to A. First it was A to B and C to D. It is the first half rotation. But in second half rotation, current will flow from D to C and from B to A. It is in the second half rotation. Therefore, the current in the coil gets reversed and flows along the path DCDA, a device that reverses the direction of flow of current through the circuit is called commutator. That is the split rings, also called commutator. In electric motors, the split rings act as commutator. The reversal of electric current also reverse the direction of force acting on the arms AB and CD. Thus, the arm AB of the coil that was earlier forced to push down is now pushed up, and the arm CD previously pushed up is now pushed down. Therefore, the coil and the axle rotate half a turn more in the same direction. The reversing of current is repeated at each half rotation, giving rise to a continuous rotation of the coil and to the axle. The commercial motor uses an electromagnet in place of permanent magnet. Next, it is used large number of turns of the conducting wire in the current carrying coil to increase the strength of the magnet. Next, a soft iron core on which the coil is wound. The soft iron core on which the coil is wound plus the coil is called an armature. This enhances the power of the motor. Now we will discuss about electromagnetic induction. We have studied that when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field such that the direction of current is perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force. This force causes the conductor to move. Now, let us imagine a situation in which a conductor is moving inside a magnetic field, or magnetic field is changing around a fixed conductor. What will happen there? This was first studied by English physicist Michael Faraday in 1831. Faraday made an important breakthrough by discovering how a moving magnet can be used to generate electric current. First, we will do one activity to understand the induction method. Take a coil of wire AB having a large number of turns. Take a coil of wire AB having a large number of turns. Connect the ends of the coil into galvanometer. This one is the galvanometer. Take a strong bar magnet and move it north pole towards the end B and the coil. What do you observe there? Do you find any change in the galvanometer needle? Sure. A bar magnet is used to place, that is north and south pole. The north pole of the bar magnet is used to push towards this coil AB. There is a momentary deflection in the needle of the galvanometer when the bar magnet is used to come towards this end B of the coil. That is, the needle of the galvanometer will deflect towards the right. Here, when north pole of the come towards the end B, then the needle of the galvanometer deflects towards right. It is observed the needle of galvanometer will deflect towards the right side. This indicates the presence of current in the coil AB. Since the needle of galvanometer will deflect only in that case when any electric current, even if it is small amount of electric current will pass through the coil. That causes the deflection of galvanometer. It is the instrument. Galvanometer is the instrument by which we can detect very negligible electric current which will flow through any circuit. So since this bar magnet is introduced, when it is pushed into this or it is taken towards this end of the coil, and it is observed the deflection of needle of this galvanometer, then we can conclude this some current will pass through this coil AB. This indicates the presence of electric current in the coil AB. The deflection becomes zero the moment the motion of magnet stops. When the bar magnet stops, then the needle of galvanometer again comes to its stationary position. The stationary they are present 0. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is mentioned in either sides of the galvanometer. When we stop the bar magnet, when it is in stationary position, the needle of galvanometer again comes to its 0 position or stationary position. Now we draw the north pole of the bar magnet away from the coil. Now the bar magnet is taken away. It is withdrawn. Again it moves away from this coil. Now the galvanometer is deflected towards the left side. The second step, when the bar magnet is taken away, then the needle of the galvanometer will deflects towards left. Here this needle will deflect towards left side. Now it will deflect towards left. It shows that the current is now set up in the direction opposite to the first condition. In the first case, the direction of current which is set up in the coil, now it is reversed. In the second case, in opposite direction, the electric current is passing through the coil. Now place the magnet stationary at a point near to the coil. We see galvanometer deflects towards right when the coil is moved towards the north pole of the magnet. Similarly, when the needle moves towards left when the coil is moved away from the coil. When the coil is kept stationary with respect to the magnet, the deflection of galvanometer drops to 0. First, it is observed when the magnet is taken towards the coil and away from the coil. When it is taken away towards the coil, the galvanometer deflects to right. When it is moved away from the coil, it deflects towards left. When it is kept stationary near the coil, then it is the needle of the galvanometer remains at the 0. And after this activity, now it is kept stationarily bar magnet and the coil is used to rotate toward the magnet and away from the magnet. In both cases, we are getting the deflection of this needle of galvanometer, deflection of galvanometer. That means whenever that coil and then whenever the bar magnet is coming, or when a coil and magnet comes towards each other, then a current is set up there. Next, we'll read about the Fleming's right hand rule. If we stretch the thumb, first finger and middle finger of our right hand in such a way that all the fingers are mutually perpendicular to each other, then the first finger shows the movement of first finger shows the magnetic field, the direction of magnetic field. The middle finger shows the direction of electric current, which is induced current, and the thumb shows the movement of conductor. On the basis of this Fleming's right hand rule, it is made electric generator, from where electricity can be generated there. Next, we will do one activity and we will observe how the current is induced. Let two coils are there. It is made up of wooden plate or a cylindrical wooden plug shell. Both the ends of this coil A, and this one is coil B. It is connected with a source of electricity or a battery, and the ends of this coil is connected with a galvanometer. When it is switched on this coil, then we can observe the deflection of galvanometer which is attached with coil B. Even if coil A and coil B both are not connected directly, then also it is observed the deflection of galvanometer in coil B while it is switched on in coil A. That causes some electricity will be set up in the coil B when electric current flow through coil A. When we switch on, we will observe the deflection of galvanometer. When we switch off, then also we observe the deflection of galvanometer, but in opposite direction. So whenever the electric current is set up in a coil, or when it changes the magnetic field, when electric current is passing through this coil, it forms a magnetic field, or when we put on the switch of this circuit, then also the magnetic field will change. Whenever it changes the magnetic field and electric current is set up in coil B, that causes the deflection of galvanometer. Such type of electric current is said to be induced current. Okay, this must present in your course. Here the electric generator and domestic electric circuit is removed from the syllabus. Okay, thank you.